In the frozen woods and windswept plains of Ice Age Europe, Neanderthals weren't always alone. Sometimes, they were being watched. Large carnivores, cave lions, wolves, cave hyenas, stalked the same prey, occupied the same shelters, and followed the same seasonal paths. This wasn't just competition, it was a collision of apex strategies. Fossil layers tell a story of tense coexistence. In some caves, Neanderthal tools lie beneath hyena droppings. In others, predator bones rest above hearths. The two were locked in a silent contest, one that didn't always end in bloodshed, but in shadowing, in stealing, in outlasting. They weren't just rivals. They were reflections. But Neanderthals weren't content with surviving beside predators, they started to anticipate them. Tracks in cave sediment suggest they returned to sites only after carefully checking for danger. Bite marks on old bones imply that they scavenged from kills, and then defended those kills. Some signs hint at a bolder tactic, displacing carnivores from their own lairs. Over time, the pattern becomes clear. Neanderthals weren't just adapting to predators, they were learning from them. Watching how lions stalked, how hyenas cached meat, how wolves tracked herds. Each encounter taught them something about strategy, timing, and risk. Predators became teachers, even when unseen. This predator mimicry may have helped Neanderthals carve a new ecological niche, something uniquely theirs. They didn't dominate landscapes by brute force alone. They haunted them. Like phantoms, they appeared and vanished, leaving only footprints, ash, and bone. Prey animals, they may have been as terrifying and elusive as the great cats once were. To the other predators, they became ghosts in the hunt, too smart to fight, too persistent to ignore. This was no longer a contest of strength, but of mastery. And slowly, the balance of fear began to shift. Not away from lions, but toward the humans. What can a fractured femur or a scorched antler tell us about the mind behind the kill? For Neanderthals, bones weren't just leftovers, they were records. Across Ice Age Europe, archaeologists have uncovered caches of broken, burned, and butchered remains, revealing patterns too consistent to be random. Marrow-rich bones were cracked just so. Skulls were sometimes left intact, as if chosen. This wasn't mere instinct. It was selection, repetition, memory. These early humans were learning to decode anatomy, where to strike, what to keep, what to discard. In their world, every carcass was both a meal and a lesson. And bones were the textbooks. Some sites, like Krapina in Croatia and Goyet Cave in Belgium, show something more, signs of ritual, or at least symbolic thought. Cut marks appear on human bones, too, disturbing to modern eyes, but possibly tied to mourning or ancestral reverence. One Neanderthal femur was found stained with red ochre, a pigment often linked to symbolic behavior. Could bones have carried meaning beyond survival? Perhaps these weren't just the dead, but remembered people, encoded in flesh and mineral. Such behavior hints at abstraction, a mind capable of linking objects to emotions, of transforming the physical into the conceptual. This deep familiarity with bones made Neanderthals not only expert hunters, but also skilled analysts of death. They recognized animal age from bone texture, herd health from joint wear, season from tooth growth. In essence, they were reading biological data long before the concept existed. And with this knowledge came strategic power, when to hunt, when to wait, which herds to follow. It was a kind of pre-literate science, carved into every fragment. If stone tools were their voice, bones were their language, an archive of kills, rituals, and ideas. The more they read the code, the sharper their survival became.